Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Featherhoof.
And I'm almost dead, but certainly still CarnagePanda.
I'll go with it. Welcome back to week 13 of Anime Talk for fall of 2018. Or, for the superstitious of you out there, 14. It's week 14, totally.
Do you know how many seasons there are in a year?
4.
Good man. That's exactly the same number of lights and everything else that you should pick. But
Okay.
that given, there are 13 weeks in every season. Unfortunately for the superstitious. 13 crops up 4 times every year. 4 times. I don't know why I said 8.
So, we just came off the final 3 finales of our list. And I gotta say, I'm kind of sad the season's over. It was a good fucking season.
Yeah, this was the best season that I've watched thus far since getting back into anime.
I have to agree with that. But, as is our more recent tradition, before we get into our list of what we watched today, we need to get into another list.
Yes, this is Elsewhere in Anime. We're going to have to seek that up sometime.
Pigs in space!
Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to talk about two different shows. One very average show, and one very terabad show that wraps around so bad that it becomes good. And I think you know which show that's going to be.
I have a feeling.
Anyway, I'm going to talk about the average show first, which you also know this one because when we were selecting shows for the fall season...
Ah, yes.
You were like, that sounds so funny, I want to watch it.
Yes, there was a show whose name... It was like one of those things where I picked Banana Fish because I knew nothing about it, and I was like, I just want to say I watched Banana Fish today.
Yeah, so... what's the actual title? Like Between the Sky and
Between the Sky and Sea or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Otherwise known as space fishing.
Yes.
Featherhoof wanted to watch this show. But
just because it's... I'm sorry, it just is like... It's like, come on, every week to say, I've got to watch space fishing!
Yeah, it did sound very ridiculous,
yes.
But the show's premise was that it's an all-women fisher team because they're trying
space
to
fisher.
Whatever. Because there are only male space fishers and they want to get gender equality. And this show just descends into lulls immediately about how misogynistic all these guys are towards these women, and these women need to prove themselves for whatever reason. And it's based off of a video game.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to find this.
I think it's a free-to-play game, though, so your experience may not be that great.
Yeah.
But week by week, I was laughing my ass off about how dumb this show was, and I was sending a couple screenshots to Featherhoof about how misogynistic the guys were and their entire approach and the girl power that went into...
Out of context, these screenshots were laughably hilarious.
But it's fucking space fishing. The entire premise is, like, the waters of the Earth are polluted, so they had to move fishing out into space, and...
Don't they like fish giant fish in Mecca?
They have... It's something like that. But... They summon gods to attack them, and...
What, the fish?
Yes. They don't go out there with, like, a net or a fishing pole and fish for them.
Yeah.
They, like, hit them with Sharingans and stuff. So the first episode, they're using their Sharingans and Rinagans and everything, and there's heavy metal music playing in the background, and they send, like, a giant enemy crab. They definitely hit the weak spot, and they send it flying off the screen. I can't recommend you watch this show, but...
Oh. But it sounds fucking ridiculous.
What could have been? What could have been? Now, the second show, which is more hilarious, and I've undergone a quest to watch all of the Gundam series.
Yes, he has.
Unfortunately, I ended up watching Gundam Double Zeta for like the last 3 weeks.
My condolences. I'm sorry you had to put yourself through that.
And I don't even know how to describe this show. It's about this kid named Judo Ashta, and he's special.
He's definitely something.
He likes to run around and scream, "That's just thinking with your head," as if there's any other way to think. I mean, there's only one other context I've ever heard of that in, explicitly sexual, and
yeah.
This is not the way he's trying to think. Because okay, the bad guy is a woman, and she has a thing for judo, and is trying to get him. She's trying to seduce him throughout the entire series, but judo doesn't understand. He just doesn't understand. Like, this entire show could have been solved if he would have got together, but he's just this oblivious, and it just descends into wacky hijinks. And you know, this is coming off of 2 very serious Gundams that take the concept of war very seriously. But this, it's like Scooby-Doo adventures. They're just running through the doors and chasing the monster of the week.
Yeah. See, I watched Double Zeta. I watched Zeta and Double Zeta. I watched them like eons ago. When you're sending me those fucking... he sends me screen caps daily. Sometimes many times per day.
I have never sent him as many screen caps as I have for Gundam Double Zeta.
Yes.
Just because of how hilarious everything the characters of this show say and do.
So it was one of those things I realized, oh my god, I repressed these memories. It isn't just I forgot, I repressed these. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so in the opening of the show, it claims that it's not even an anime and that the show is actually real. Which is like your first clue that you're in for a wild ride.
Yes. But you still maintain that it's so bad that it wraps around to being enjoyable.
Yeah, I would not have made my way through this show if it was not in that category of being so bad that it's good.
Ah, I see.
It's like watching some Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing, you know?
Oh.
Only it gives its own commentary. Anyway,
so those were the 2 anime you wanted to talk about this week.
Yeah, I'm trying to make my way through Gundam, especially because I want to get... This whole thing that ignited it is because you've been telling me that G Gundam is so hilarious and campy and everything.
G Gundam tries to take itself so seriously, but it's so ridiculous. I'm sorry. There is a horse piloting a horse-shaped Gundam.
This sounds amazing.
I mean, every episode, Domon Kashu, the main character, defeats his enemies by giving them his love, his anger, and all of his sorrow! I mean, and then proceeds to talk about how much his finger is burning as he crushes their head.
So I've mapped out all the series in release order and how I'm going to watch them, which is going to take me like to the end of this year, into the end of winter 2020, just so I don't get burnt out from watching Gundam nonstop.
Well, I mean, if you watch nothing but Gundam all year, eventually just hearing the noises that the Gundam joints make at some point would drive you insane.
Well, I can't wait to get to G Gundam. I'm gonna have to compare and contrast it with Double Zeta.
Oh, Double Zeta is far more stupidly hilarious. G Gundam's just like, it's like 80s campy cheese.
But it was in the 90s.
I know.
This was 80s campy cheese.
Anyway, that was Elsewhere in Anime. So we're gonna go right into our finale list for this season. So last week we talked about the finales to two amazing shows. We saw the finale of Banana Fish, which I think will go down in history as one of the best anime ever. And we saw the finale for
Zombieland Saga.
Thank you. Which was, well, good, marred by some shitty CG. So
I will never understand the CG.
I won't either. It isn't like the CG went away, though. It still marred another finale we're going to talk about today. But, so those were definitely the cream of the crop. Like, even after watching these three, I think I can confidently say, if they had all come out at the same time, we were reviewing all five, numbers 2 and 1 would still be Zombieland Saga and Banana Fish.
You know, I can't disagree with you there.
So we're going to go in, take from the cream of the crop to the cream of the crap. Just right away, Double Decker.
Okay, so...
oh, boy.
This definitely needed a second season because,
yes,
like we said last week, they crammed in, like, everything
well,
in one episode, and then we get the finale.
The pro to that is that this episode wasn't crammed with just lore after lore after lore. This episode, they can focus on this singular story, their finale. And I gotta say, I liked the episode.
Yeah, the episode was enjoyable. It was a finale.
It was a fun finale. It brought back some of the humor. It had a lot of callbacks.
Speaking of that, the narrator wasn't in the last episode, and
Nope.
I forgot to point that out.
Correct.
And that was one thing that upset me about episode 12.
Luckily, he came back in episode 13, though.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah.
One of the best characters in the show, by the way.
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. So, it turns out everything that had happened in the last episode, every bad thing, like, oh shit, the good guys were beaten, was all part of the plan.
Yeah, it all... everything was going according to plan. Everything is a fake out.
Yes.
And they...
I love it. It turns out, Doug had told Kirill that it was going to be Pink. That was going to be going to be the one captured by Cooper. But he lied on purpose so that Kirill's reactions would be convincing.
This is one of the best parts about Double Decker is that they just
that Doug is an asshole.
The entire season, they just kept fucking with Kirill.
Yes, I mean it was episode 2. I think it was episode 2. The narrator was like, "What Kirill doesn't know is that Doug is a dick."
Yeah,
and once again, like it showed like the scene where Cooper comes in holding Mila, and Kirill's like, "Oh my god," all terrified, and it just pans over to Doug, and he's laughing his ass off.
Yeah, he's just sitting there snickering because of the little lie he told to Kirill. He's like, "Man, this is gonna be so hilarious."
So there was no anti-Cooper serum. It was literally it was an adrenaline. It was
a shot of adrenaline.
Yeah. They fed him a lie to make him think that it was a thing, to make him terrified he was going to lose his powers. So he goes back and he grabs Zebel's special anthem, and anthems himself up and turns into the Grey Hulk.
You know, I was just talking about Gundam Double Zeta.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the scene at the end
where
the guy just takes so many steroids that he explodes. This is an actual scene in the show. He explodes, and therefore his mech explodes and takes out all the guys that are holding him up. I was expecting that.
I was kind of expecting Cooper to explode as well. But instead, he just hulks out. And he literally hulks out, because the more they shoot him, the bigger he's getting. He's, like, literally hulking out. Until Doug just, like, gets up, because they all thought he was, Cooper thought he was dead. He's like, "Oh, by the way, actually, we won. Yep."
Like, checkmate. You lost a long time ago.
Yeah, the thing is, that special anthem that you just took, that was just regular anthem. We fucking lied to you.
I did comment that it would have been funnier if he was one of the victims of the 30% death rate.
He's
like, oh shit, I'm dead.
So now he's basically, we tricked you so that you would double up on Anthem. You were already an Anthem soldier, and you thought you didn't have any Anthem left in you, so you put more Anthem on you, and you're totally in overdrive now, and our bullets work on you now. Ha ha ha! You stupid.
Also, this gave them jurisdiction.
Yes.
Because they didn't have it to begin with.
That's right.
And they had to... I guess entrapment or something, because they carried in the Anthem and made him use it. I don't know if this is a legal defense in Liza Valletta.
Apparently it is. Because everything works out in the end. They use the AMS bullets. He goes the exact opposite. Instead of being huge and hulking out, and for some reason had a tentacle coming out of one shoulder, and I don't know why.
Let's not go there, because there were women in this show.
He had it. They were just tentacle. It's like, okay, just one tentacle right there. Okay, and then deflates. He looks like a deflated balloon at the end. It's all super weak and gangling, and his muscles are all deflated and shit. And he gets away because he activated the self-destruct sequence or whatnot.
Well, he sort of gets away.
Well, he gets away from 7-0.
Yeah, he gets away from 7-0 because smoke and stuff
explosions
coming in, and they're like, yeah, we'll just arrest him later.
Literally, Doug says, Kirill, we'll arrest him later. Don't worry about it. So, they have this grand climactic run out of the base, sequence. I love it because, Kirill's actually playing out the escape sequence in his head with inner monologue. And this is the moment when the big opening credits music would start playing in the background and swell up as we got too close to the exit. And as it's happening, the opening credits music starts playing and swelling. He's like,
see, this is what's great about Double Decker, and this is why they needed a second season, so that they could have done more of these gags.
Yes, I love the fact that Kirill still sees himself as a manga hero. Because they portrayed it early on. It's he gets all his ideas of how to be a detective and how to take down bad guys from reading way too many manga and having self-aggrandizing fantasies. He's literally having one while he's in the middle of a life or death situation.
Yeah, and spoilers, since this is a spoiler-heavy show, they all get out safe.
Yes.
Except for...
Cooper.
Yeah, that's his name. The Joker or whatever.
I love the fact... Because Cooper's going to, if you think your guy's going to get away, not that easily. And he goes to start the rocket that he was going to send Kirill up to... what's the name? Nikai. And he's like... It's error, and he looks and... Someone has shot up one of the booster rockets. And he turns around and Zebbel's there.
Yeah, Zebbel's there doing his Makoto Shishio cosplay.
But what I loved about it is he breaks the fourth wall. He goes, "What, did you think we were going to end the show without, with all the rest of with the whole main cast still alive?"
The whole main cast. I guess the Joker was a main character.
He's a main character, yeah.
Bad guy.
Yeah. Well, Cooper was a main character.
Or what's that fighting game where the guy's name is Soul Bad Guy?
Oh, Guilty Gear?
Yeah.
Oh, was that Guilty Gear? Yeah, it's Guilty Gear.
That still cracks me up.
What is it?
When you were explaining it to me in high school.
Dude, that's not nearly as bad as the antagonist of BlazBlue, if I'm not mistaken, is just called That Guy.
You know what? I downloaded that. I'm going to have to go check that out tomorrow because I'm going to go crash and...
That man!
That's a man. That's that dude from fucking Excel Saga. You don't remember that?
I remember Il Palazzo. Oh, the blonde haired dude, the dude with the glasses and the mustache.
It's not a man.
Oh my god! Anyway, we're on Double Decker. Damn it, we've been all over the place.
So, Zebbel has survived the stakening
somehow. The stakening and burning. He got burned. Yeah. He got staked and burninated.
And the reason he's putting Cooper down is because he wasted food.
Yes, he says,
I'm just really pissed off at you for wasting food. So now you have to die.
And he makes him put suck on that gun barrel.
Oh yeah,
the whole
this is a huge fucking gun barrel, and he just shoves it right in his mouth,
all the way down to the little guard thingy around the finger.
No, seriously, he is deep throating this gun.
Seriously, and we don't get to see the goriness, but we hear the boom, and they're like, so it goes back to Kirill and Doug, and they're running away, and. Like, the big explosion happens behind them, and they're like, oh, shit, and they fall forward, and we see Robot is alive.
Yeah.
And
they explain that away.
I love the explanation. It's stupid. It's stupid as hell, but I loved it.
Yeah, so the reason that, see, I told you it was 100%.
Yeah.
100 fucking percent.
You're right.
The reason that Robot is still here is because Travis dropped coffee during her maintenance, and so he did the illegal thing of backing her up and giving her a second body, and the second body was the one that got destroyed.
Yes. Ta-da! You don't have to be sad anymore. Which actually, that pissed me off a little bit. I hate when they reverse great tragedies. But so that actually made me a little mad.
I'm not going to fault them because this is Double Decker, and it was supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah. I mean, even in the end, Doug is going to sacrifice himself. Doug is half trapped under rubble, and Kirill's like, no, we gotta save Doug. And Doug's like, you'll jeopardize everyone's life, just go! And the explosion, the explosion becomes self-aware.
The explosion had had enough.
And kicks him out of the rubble into Kirill's hands. So, it ends, it literally has the mega happy ending. It has the mega happy ending. Nobody important, that you care about dies. Everyone's happy, and 7-0 goes back to, exactly the way it was. And, and then with a stinger, a little stinger at the end, after the credits, it does a stinger where it shows Nikai.
Yeah, Nikai's like a satellite station out in space or whatever.
And they're like, we lost contact with Cooper. What do we do? It's like, who the fuck cares? He was the weakest of our 144 super soldiers. Just send another one. And it's like, to be continued? And it's like,
so this is maybe a tease for a second season, which it needed a second season to begin with.
Yeah.
I really like the characters. I'm going to miss Pink, for instance.
Yes. I'm going to miss Max. I love Max. I love Robot. Yuri. Doug was fun. Doug was so much fucking fun.
We needed a lot more development.
Yes. So that was the finale. As a finale, just by itself, what do you think of the episode?
Yeah, it works.
It is.
That's my highest praise. It works.
I think it still falls flat, though.
Well,
because
that's what I said. My highest praise is it works.
Yes. It wanted you to care about all this stuff that it threw at us in the semi-finale. It's like, we don't have no emotional attachment to any of it. It literally just happened. It didn't get a chance to sink in. And now we're supposed to care about it, and it's supposed to be emotional and impactful. It's like, nope, it really wasn't.
You're exactly right. I've been watching these long-running series, Gundam, right now. So I get to compare and contrast that. Unlike a lot of other shows that run like 12 to 13 episodes and use most of their time to build up that empathy and the impact at the end of where you're supposed to care.
Yeah.
This doesn't do it because obviously they crammed a whole season's worth into episode 12 last week. And this episode just works.
So, Double Decker as a whole, what do you think of the show, Double Decker as a whole?
I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. Just because I'm so angry about how they handled it near the end.
Behold, people, this is what angry looks like. I would agree with your score. 6 out of 10, I would concur. It was funny. I got a lot of laughs out of it. I got a lot of feels out of it. I have to say, possibly the best episode was the prom episode.
I don't know what's the best episode.
I would have to say the one episode...
Episode 5 is definitely the worst.
Yeah, it was. but it had more downs than any other show we watched this season. Like, there were more times this season where Double Decker ended up in the 5 slot than any other show we watched this season. Because it just... Even its better episodes weren't as good as other anime this season.
Well, I'm not going to fault it for that. It was running in a season of just juggernauts just running along. Granted,
but because it was alongside other juggernauts, unfortunately its bad episodes, or even its not as good episodes, their faults showed a lot more.
Okay, so what if this show aired last season?
It still wouldn't. That's a really hard objective question to really answer. I would say it still would have had its faults, but they wouldn't have been as glaring.
I think the biggest fault is the rushed ending.
Yeah.
And, like, you remember when we got into anime, like, most of the shows ran for, like, 26 episodes.
Yes.
And now they're, like, half that.
Yeah.
So, it didn't have the runtime that it needed to establish what it wanted to do.
Right. I think possibly what it should have done, if they were going to do this whole Nikai thing and all this extra stuff, it should have been introduced sooner, because there are some episodes that are completely useless.
No, I think it should have been introduced right around here.
But I mean,
going into a second season.
But I'm saying, if there's only going to be one season,
yeah,
this stuff should have been introduced sooner. There were episodes that could have been cut to make room for some of this exposition that we got in the last episode. And it just... Well, then, I mean, they didn't know. You know, when you're making a show, you don't know when you're making it. You don't know if you're going to get renewed or not. They do what they got to do when they do it. So...
Yeah, it's unfortunate, you know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of good shows go under the radar and don't get recognition.
Yeah.
While, you know, other Sword Art Online run forever.
You know, so just certain things. And I won't name any names, just some things that are overrated. Like, really, really overrated. Sword Art! Anyway, so that's how we felt about Double Decker. It was a flawed anime that had potential that, unfortunately, I think, like he said before, they realized they weren't getting a second season.
This is ground zero for snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yes. So that was Double Decker. It was fine for what it was. It just didn't really live up, and mostly because they tried to info dump us there in episode 12, and then tried to make us care in episode 13 about that info dump in 12. It's like, you can't do that. We're not gonna care. You know, it's too much. So, yeah, it 6 out of 10, perfect score for it. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move right along.
I am Goblin Slayer, come from Goblin Removal Service to remove goblins.
Yes, he is.
And you know what? This was actually a really good finale episode, and I'm glad that they moved the Goblin Lord, even though they pretty much cut everything out about him from the light novel and the manga.
Oh, there was actually more about the Goblin Lord?
Yeah, we'll get to that. But
okay, all right.
This is the conclusion of murdering the Goblin Lord's horde.
Yes.
And it turns out that, Goblin Slayer had, the Goblin Lord was running away.
Yeah.
To get back to his house to rebuild, because he's like, oh man, this is a lost cause. I got to get out of here.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go back to my goblin lair. I'm gonna rebuild my army using the prisoners we have. We're gonna rebuild, my ranks, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna take them another day. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
But Goblin Slayer's like, nope, already wrecked your home.
Yup, it insinuates that off screen he wrecked his entire goblin cave, which I can see him doing that.
Does that make him a home wrecker?
I'm not going to go there.
Well, you know what? I didn't enjoy the final battle between Goblin Slayer and the Goblin Lord. It just was not intense at all.
Well, here's the thing. Even Goblin Slayer basically said that he's out of his element in this fight.
Yeah, he's not good at 1v1, bro.
Well, not only 1v1, but 1v1 in the open. Like, we always see him fighting goblins in caves. He's able to use those close quarters to his advantage. He's able to...
Yeah, this is true, but at the same time, he is a goblin specialist, so he should have some good knowledge of how to fight them out in the open, too.
Right, but he's never fought a goblin lord, ever. Like I said, he said himself, he is out of his element. Like, we can insinuate from past encounters that...
I'm actually going to spoil this because...
He's actually insinuated, that his past encounters have only been with hobs and regular goblins.
Well, he did encounter the Goblin Champion, which takes place later in the manga.
Right.
But Goblin Champions are actually stronger than Goblin Lords. The only difference is that Goblin Lords have better charisma and leadership skills.
Right. Well, apparently they also have super fucking strength to some degree. I mean, that Goblin Lord, is ripping off parts of Goblin Slayer's armor and shield and shit with, like, single blows.
With a giant fucking axe.
Yeah. That means he is one-handing a giant fucking axe. So he has some degree of more than human strength.
It's still a giant fucking axe.
Yes.
Kinetic forces will go through your armor.
Yes, but it's still, he is strong enough to one-hand a giant fucking axe.
Well, granted.
Granted. The fuck?
I'm gonna go back and see if Discount Guts was one-handing his sword at any point.
Okay, go ahead. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. That dude's obviously superhuman himself. I mean, fuck. He's wielding it. That's something in and of itself, even with two hands. So, how'd the fight go down?
I wanted more of a brawl. This is like the complaint that I always give after Marvel movies.
Okay.
Is I was expecting more of a brawl.
But what you get is more of a choreographed thing that's like sort of like set itself to end in a very specific way.
Like in the last arc, when he was fighting the Goblin Champion,
yeah,
it felt like the stakes were higher, and I enjoyed that battle a lot more than him fighting the Goblin Lord. It just didn't really have that impact.
Yeah, I think partially to blame is also the animation, because there are just times where like it showed like the Goblin Slayer and Goblin Lord going at each other with like simple like
I think this is the problem with this show, is that the studio had no expectation that this show was going to be as popular as it is, because it's more popular than Sword Art Online.
Yay! So, how does the fight finally boil down, though? I mean, he kind of gets his ass beat.
Yeah, so Goblin Slayer gets his ass kicked, and our priestess, which was, conveniently absent for most of last episode, she ends up winning this battle for him.
Pretty much.
She uses 2 protection walls to squeeze the Goblin Lord, and...
Which I swear to God, if I ever play D&D again, if I'm playing a cleric, I'm going to ask if I can do that.
Well, I'm sure... You know what? I don't think you can, because
that
would be a Wall of Force, which is a sorcerer and wizard spell.
Okay, fine. I'll be a sorcerer wizard then. Fine.
So...
But is it concentration? That's the problem, though. I gotta figure out if it's a concentration spell or not.
Probably.
Damn, but I can only use one.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I'm not even interested in looking it up right now.
So she squeezes him into this tiny little space. And he's got, like... The last blow Goblin Slayer landed on him, he got him in the Gobbler's gut, and but it broke the sword. Like the Goblin Slayer broke Goblin Lord broke Goblin Slayer's sword and shield with like a huge swing at him. So he's still got this chunk of sword in his gut, and as a fucking priestess has the walls of force on either side of him, you see it's more pushing the blade more and more into his gut.
Yeah, he's probably not having a pleasant time right now, which is why he tries to roll charisma. What would the skill be?
Persuasion. He tries to roll persuasion.
And then it does some flashbacks about when he was a wee little goblin.
Yep. And an adventurer took pity on him.
Yeah, this chick was like, he's like, yeah, I'm not ever gonna do this again. I'll just go back to the forest and I'll be a good little boy. And she falls for it. And when she turns around, he clubs her in the back of the head.
He just rocks her.
Which, this is why you wear a helmet.
That.
In this world, at least.
And as Goblin Slayer put it in like the very first episode, this is why you kill the fuckers. It don't matter if they're babies, you kill them.
This is a very important lesson of why you should wear a helmet in this world. Because you had the one chick from the girl group in the Elf Fortress got sniped with a sling.
Yes.
Rock to the head. Yeah, rocks take everybody out.
Well, there was an episode where they didn't have any ammunition left, so they were chucking rocks at the oncoming Goblin Horde and was winning with that. Remember?
Rocks are very deadly. Rocks and clubs.
Yes.
the amateurish weapons will win the day every time.
So Goblin Lord is pleading for his life.
He's begging the priestess to let him go, and she's just like looking at him with these like, yeah, no, you're not persuading me.
Nah.
I've seen enough goblin shit to, no.
Yeah, my insight check was higher than your bluff check. Sorry. And Goblin Slayer struggles to his feet, takes the rest of his blade, and just shoves it right up in the neck, right on the other side of the jaw, and just kills him.
Yeah, and this is my major problem with this battle, is because they hyped up the Goblin Lord a lot.
They did. But then again,
maybe we'll encounter another Goblin Lord later down the line who will be more of a threat.
Possibly, I don't know. So the battle is won. Everyone is safe. I love to show the flashback of Goblin Slayer telling Priestess the plan.
Yeah.
And he's like, use 3 protection spells, just in case him in, just to be sure. And she's like, after the fight, she goes, sorry, only used 2. So that she could use her 3rd spell to heal him.
See, I'm not sure how she would have applied 3 spells. Like, one of the sides, okay, whatever, but...
Front, back, maybe top?
Top or left or...
I don't know what that would have afforded.
Yeah, it wouldn't have...
Unless he wanted to make a triangle-shaped prison? I don't know.
What if...
I don't know. Well, she took artistic license with his instructions, apparently. So they're back at the.
She made a Goblin Lord sandwich.
There we go. Yep. Not a very good one. It would have tasted disgusting, but because when he was sitting there begging for his life, you see the snot coming out of his face and the tears and everything. It's like, ew.
1,000 points to whoever gets that reference.
Oh.
Yeah, keep your mouth shut.
I know, but I want to say it.
Keep your mouth shut.
But Barry would want me to say it.
God damn it. God damn it, Featherhoof.
So, the battle is won. They're all back at Adventurer Guild HQ. And they're collecting their gold. I love Paladin is trying to get more gold. Because he's like, but I killed a Goblin Champion. That should be worth more than 1 gold.
It's fucking You know what? This Paladin chick's pretty badass.
Oh yeah, she was deflecting those giant clubs.
Speaking of how Goblin Slayer got his arm broken and his sword cleaved in half, she's fighting this Goblin Champion, which established better fighters than Goblin Lords. Mm-hmm. And what's he have?
He has a club that's the size of him.
It's a giant club. We've already established that clubs are very deadly weapons.
Yeah. If he held the club, there's some people they put the end of the weapon into the ground and hold it. Mm-hmm. His club, his hand would be up here. That's how big his club is. And he's towers over them. So this club is huge.
Yeah, so she's one of the best tanks in this world or something because...
She's just tanking them.
She takes that club like it's nothing.
It's not like, they showed her feet skidding back or anything like that. She's like, nope. She's like, your club is nothing to me.
She chops his fingers off. She made that fight with Goblin Slayer in their group back with the other Goblin Champion look like, what the fuck were these other silver rank adventurers doing?
Who knows?
Yeah, she chops his fingers off and then Discount Guts chops him in half.
Oh yeah, right horizontally through the stomach. Yeah. And then Spear Dude just runs up the chain of the anchor of the other Goblin Champion and just stabs him in the head Link style.
Yeah, and all these guys, the Paladin, Discount Guts, and Spear Guy.
It's just gonna be his name, isn't it? Discount Guts. I love it.
You know this guy. You know this guy is a reference to Guts. There's no way. He has a giant fucking sword.
I know.
He looks like him.
He does.
He cuts this dude in half.
I'll grant you. So
it just makes you wonder what the fuck they were doing back in the previous arc when they just manhandled these guys here.
Yeah, it's a good question. But so the battle's won.
Yes,
the battle's over. They saved the farm, and in turn saved the city. And they're back at HQ. Everyone's like drinking. It's kind of fun watching High Elf be like drunk off her ass. She's just kind of like stupid and crazy.
Well, before that, they actually show the 3 chicks that saved the world, and I guess I got that wrong because yes, Sword Maiden did vanquish. What's the Demon Lord?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she vanquished him, but he got resurrected. And they wouldn't put him down.
Okay. So there's actually this cute little tender moment between Goblin Slayer and Priestess. Where he puts his 1 gold coin in her hand. She's like, well, "What is this for?" He's like, "You were the one who killed the Goblin Lord, so it should go to you." And she's like, "Well, seeing as this was an officially sanctioned quest, and then I want my own reward." He's like, "What?" And she just looks at him and she's like, "Take your helmet off." Soka. And this one act of taking his helmet off causes havoc throughout all of the Adventurer Guild.
They're all like, "Holy shit, he took his helmet off."
And they all run over there. And apparently there was a betting pool as to who or what he was under the helmet. Like, we've got the one subtitle like, "I totally thought he was going to be a woman under there."
Yeah, I thought he was going to be a woman. I thought he was a goblin.
There was a couple others. What were they? Oh, I can't fucking remember now. But the fact that they literally had a betting pool about what he was on the helmet. He's such a staple of their guild. Like, he was like, Priestess asked him, "Why didn't you just post a quest on the quest board?" And he's like, "Because that's what happened when my village was overrun and nobody came." And she's like, "I would have come, and everyone here would have too. You may not believe it, because he chalked it all up to luck. He's like, it didn't have anything to do with luck. He's like, everyone here likes you. You're a staple of the Adventurers Guild, and everybody would have come. It would have happened regardless." It was this cute little moment, and I really liked it. Dude, like, it almost ended perfectly.
Almost,
because he's sitting there, and she says this beautiful little speech to him, and it sort of pans up, and it stops like right here before his eyes, and he just Soka, and he smiles, like probably like the first time ever.
Ended it right there.
Yeah, but they didn't. They had to give him one extra sentence, which kind of ruined it. I don't even remember what the sentence was. It didn't add anything. But
so yeah, when Goblin Slayer takes his helmet off, and I want to comment about Guild Girl here.
Okay.
She's like about to have an orgasm over this.
She kind of is.
You know what? I think she had like the best scheme ever, because she put out this reward for a gold coin for all the goblins that you kill.
Right.
But it turns out that like the guild owns the tavern.
Right.
So like
the cold just went back in their
They just
pockets.
made all their money back. Because they're just sitting there partying.
Yep. Brilliant.
Like, so, they didn't win anything at all.
So, Goblin Slayer is now over. What did you think of the finale as an episode?
It's not over. Goblin Slayer will return.
Yeah, it does at the end. Yeah, it does say Goblin Slayer will return. But this is the end of Goblin Slayer Season 1. Okay, finale happened. What did you think of the finale?
You know what? I liked it. I just didn't like the Goblin Lord fight.
I had a bit of an issue with it. My issue being is that... How do I put this? It felt predetermined. Like, literally, everything that happened in this episode and the last episode, Goblin Slayer predicted all of it and acted accordingly. It felt like there.
Goblin Slayer.
I know, but
Goblins act.
it felt like there were no stakes because he had everything planned out 5 steps ahead, and it all worked out. It wasn't like when he fought the Goblin Champion in Watertown, where he literally died. This one felt like there were no stakes. Like he had already gone back to the Goblin Lord's cave, killed all the goblins there, came to just finish off the Goblin Lord. Which even if he had a contingency. Even if he fell, Priestess was there to finish him off.
Yeah, but this is what Goblin Slayer does. He thinks of the he thinks of the most inventive ways, and for some reason, my mind's going back to that George W. Bush quote where he's talking about our enemies are resourceful, and
they never stop thinking of ways of hurting us, and neither do we.
Yeah, come on. But yeah, this is what he's constantly thinking of how to fuck Goblin shit up.
I get that, but I think in all the other battles there felt like they were higher stakes because he was like thinking on the seat of his pants. This, he thought everything up before the night before the battle happened.
Yeah, maybe if they had put one more episode in, because they did cut some things out of the manga. Mm-hmm. Like in the last episode, the Goblin Lord was just grunting, but
yeah,
he's capable of speech and everything, and they go into his whole backstory about, when he killed the woman and raped her, and
started his own little goblin.
Well, he didn't kill her, actually.
Well, yeah.
He captured her, used her for breeding, and the way he got that axe is that a barbarian dude came in to rescue her. And he fell for the same shit.
Lovely.
So that's how he got this giant fucking axe. And then they go into all this backstory about how he grew in strength and intelligence and became the Goblin Lord eventually.
Neat. Well, I wasn't thrilled with the finale. It was still a fun watch. It was, especially when it turned comedy at the end. It was actually really nice. The battle, like I said, I like the way that they ended up killing the Goblin Lord. It was inventive. I like the way they pulled it off. If nothing else, Goblin Slayer I do like because they find inventive ways of killing goblins.
Well, yeah, he finds inventive ways of killing goblins, and up until now, the battles have had actual stakes, and
yes,
it felt like, it's not like a typical shonen battle protagonist where they just they get really pissed off and
obtain their new form,
get to a new height of power,
and
just walk all over everything.
Yes. But yes, the stake was, there was a stake here. It was, Cowgirl's life. For him, it was Cowgirl's life. And
who gives a fuck about the uncle?
Yeah, nobody cares about that. But he for him, it was about that farm. It was about Cowgirl, and those stakes were there. But the battle didn't feel like there were any stakes because it felt like it was won before it ever began.
Well, yeah, I think it's hard to put stakes in this because, he knows about goblins.
Yeah.
And he went and recruited all these people. He had all the guys that he'd been adventuring with, the lizard shaman, the elf archer, and then the titty witch came out there, and Lancer dude, discount guts, the paladin.
Yes,
they had an all-star team.
Yeah,
it's how are they gonna lose?
They literally brought an all-star basketball team with a coach that's super intelligent against a high school basketball team.
Yeah, pretty much. Junior high.
Here we go. Because they wiped the floor with them. I think they showed the casualties of the battlefield. Was
junior high.
one.
It'd be pretty accurate because basketball players are 7 feet tall.
Yeah. But they showed the casualties of war. Of the good guys' side, there was one dude that one chick was putting the cloth over.
Oh yeah.
Well, except for the 2 dudes who were killed at the end of the last episode.
And then, those 2 dudes, they didn't know what hit them.
Well, the one dude did. There was a guy before who didn't. But, so yeah, Goblin Slayer as a whole, though. Let's talk about Goblin Slayer as a whole. What did you think about the series, this season?
You know what? I enjoyed it as an old... we haven't done it in years, but we used to play D&D. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it in that aspect.
Yes. Yeah.
we didn't have all the banter that we had to having a huge group of players, but it took me back to those days.
It absolutely did. It was actually kind of fun. It was very, very nostalgic. Like I said, overall, it was, like I said, I would give the show, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. Me personally. What would you give?
Yeah, about around there, because what this show could have really benefited from, and like I said, I don't think the studio thought that this show was going to be as popular as it is better animation.
Yes. However, I do have to give them a little bit of credit. Out of all the shows that use CG this season, theirs wasn't the worst.
That's very true.
Out of all the shows that decided to use CG, theirs was not the worst. So I gotta give them credit for that. Like I said, I take points off, I take stars off simply because a lot of the time, as fun as and inventive as it is, watching kill goblins in these fun and inventive ways, it just a lot of the time felt, with few exceptions, like when they fought the Goblin Champion, that felt like there was real stakes because the Goblin Champion killed him. He had to come back and do it again. You know? But for most of the fights, it's like, Goblin Slayer is like, I got it. Don't worry about it. I have everything pinned down, no problem, solid. And it would work out exactly how he planned it. There was no deviations to any of his plans. He was able to solve everything instantly.
I mean,
he one-hit KO'd a Beholder. He one-hit KO'd a Beholder with stuff that he had prepared in advance without even knowing what was there.
Point taken.
I mean, Goblin Slayer metagamed really fucking hard.
You know, I don't care. I actually found myself invested in these characters.
Oh, dude, I love the characters.
Near the end, since they hadn't done much about the Paladin, the Lancer guy, and Titty Witch, they were just there.
Yeah.
But they came back in a big way in the finale. And I'm more interested in seeing the continuation of this world, and I'd say go read the manga. But the manga is, like, they pretty much reached the end of it here. And
just in another order.
We're getting a season 2.
Okay.
If they do it like anytime soon, like spring or summer, they're obviously going to be adapting straight from the novels.
Okay. I have to say my favorite character was definitely for me Dragon Shaman. Lizard Man Priest. He was my favorite character because I just loved he's this tall stoic guy and he's always in prayer, but you show him cheese. You show him milk products, and suddenly he drops that demeanor, and he's all about those milk products.
See, I know the show is called Goblin Slayer, and it's about Goblin Slayer.
Yeah.
But we do have a bunch of other characters that I would like to, see going on adventures. Like, like to see what Lancer and Titty Witch are doing, and what Paladin and Discount Guts are doing, and... who else is there? Maybe the heroine trio that took down the Demon Lord. See what's going on with them because they didn't get much screen time at all.
That's true. I think in total they had 2 minutes of screen time across the whole series.
But we'll see what we get in the next season, whatever that happens.
So that was Goblin Slayer. We're going to talk about our favorite finale of this week. So coming in at number 1 this week is Iraduku. This had all the feels in it. Jesus Christ, this show wanted you to walk away crying but happy. It wanted to mix all kinds of emotions inside you all at once, even though we pretty much predicted how it was going to go down.
Yeah, I wish it would have gone more in line with what I predicted.
Or even what I predicted, but...
it's a satisfying ending, and I get a lot of feels just looking at the background art, to be honest.
Fuck,
I don't have to, this was, without a doubt, the best looking show. These backgrounds are like movie quality.
It's insane. Usually, anime studios save this kind of quality of work for their Blu-ray sales.
Movies! Like fucking movies.
Yeah. This is not TV anime, broadcast anime levels of art. They went above and beyond
And I've watched other shows from PA Works, and I just cannot even remember them doing a show that just looks this good.
But I think the reason why is because this show, half of it was about art and color and the emotion that those elicit.
I've watched other animes about art, and none of them look as good as this. Like, holy shit.
So, what happened? We got, they're starting the time spell.
And our predictions went exactly right.
Yep, they all gave their farewell speeches.
They gave their G Gundam speech.
They gave Hitomi all their love, their anger, and all of their sorrow. And till it gets to Yuito Aoi.
Owie.
I can't say his name, so I was trying to remember his other name. Yuito?
Do you need a band-aid for that boo-boo?
I hate his name. Aoi's so stupid. So Aoi gets up there and just gives her the most half-assed handshake. Like, hey, it was good having you, but bye.
Nice meeting you.
I just met you. You remember that fucking line? Remember when he meets little Hitomi?
Oh, yeah.
And it comes out of it and looks at her and goes, I just met you. It's like... So, he goes to walk away, and Hitomi is all like... He's like, no, there's this thing I gotta say. And she starts calling out to him, and then, like, the fucking time compass goes fucking berserk. And Kohaku's like, I'm not doing this. The fuck... Wait, is Hitomi doing this? Is her unconscious... her unconscious magic doing this? And it sucks her and Aoi up into...
The LSD dimension.
Pretty much. And it's this colorless, bland world where... Actually, the ground was like a reddish color, but...
Yeah, but then they go into like a complete black and white.
Yeah,
as soon as Aoi gets close to Hitomi.
Well, it turns out Hitomi... It looks like Hitomi and him are on the same plane. They're on the same world, but she can't see him. And it shows it from her perspective, because he's calling out to her, running to her, and she's not looking at him. And it goes to her point of view, and she's in that dark room, that dark black and white room that little Hitomi was in. And
little Hitomi, best character.
Yeah. So he just busts in there. He's just like, because it shows him like standing at the doors. I think he's just ran like 5 marathons. And they look at each other, they embrace, and
they have the heartfelt speech that they always meant to have, but I guess we're too embarrassed to have in front of the others.
Yeah, so they basically both profess their love for one another. It really is heartfelt. Like, I know we're joking and being silly. It is truly a heartfelt scene. It gives you the feels, and as they both profess their love for one another, she has this unblocking, as it were. She suddenly, like, the colors just start, like, as the world around it, it's like that scene from Labyrinth, where it's like, where the world falls down.
Okay.
You never watched?
I haven't watched Labyrinth.
Really? Oh. It's like the
Maybe I'll have to go watch that.
It's a scene where like shit's crumbling around her. It's that scene.
Actually, this looks pretty. This is actually really cool.
It is. And as each part crumbles away, as light enters, wherever that light touches, color. is. She sees color there, and there's just this beautiful moment where she's just saying how much she loves Aoi. And she's like, "I love the color." Yeah, it's like, "I love the color of your hair, the color of your eyes, the color of your skin. I love the colors." And she is overcome with happiness and love and emotion. As the world comes down, the colors are coming up. It's like her and Aoi are slowly fading back into the real world, like holding each other. And she lets go of Aoi. Aoi steps back, and she says her final farewell, and she poofs back. She poofs out of existence.
And then Kohaku admits to herself, "I didn't do anything."
Yeah, I literally
I did nothing. That was
like, no one knows this, but
that was just a consequence of Hitomi's magic time running out.
Well, no, it was No, it wasn't her time ran out. Is she like something
she
about?
implies there's some sort of time limit on the spell.
No, she said that's I can't do it word for word, but because Hitomi finally got past that emotional block of hers, that she did it to herself.
Yeah, she'd reached the natural end of her journey, and it was time for her to go.
Yeah.
And Kohaku was just doing parlor tricks the whole time. But she doesn't tell anybody.
Nope. But she's like, but I still have time. I have 60 years to become the great time mage that I know I have to be. So
you can do it if you put your
yeah.
if you put your head to it.
Yep. So what follows, the last 10 minutes of the episode, is this first off gorgeous, visually gorgeous scene, like scenes of Hitomi back in the future, and emotional scenes, just complete, like all of the feels are in this episode. She sees Grandma Kohaku, and she's crying because she's looking at the fireworks and how she can see her whole world. The world last time she had seen it was in black and white. It's all in color, and it's just too much for her. And she's just sitting there just crying her eyes out. But refusing to close her eyes or even to blink away the tears. She's taking in her world for the first time. And
in color.
Yeah, in color. In living color.
She's graduated from her black and white TV. Her 13-inch black and white TV. 10-inch? I don't know.
I know people. Y'all youngins probably have never had to go through that. He and I, we've both gone through that transition phase in our life. Where we graduated from our 9, 10, 13-inch black and white TVs to our first color one. But Grandma Kohaku just comes up and she's like, so, how was it? It's like if it was just this nonchalant thing. And she just talks about how I made a joke. She's like, I think it was, bitch. You put me on the worst emotional roller coaster of my life. And she basically says all that, but far kinder.
I was kind of disappointed at this part because I expected everybody to come back and be like, oh, we missed you so much, Hitomi. Mm-hmm. But this is it only goes between her and Kohaku.
I was thinking that at first too. But I can see why they wouldn't. First off, some of them may be dead. They'd be in their 70s or 80s at this point. So I don't think you want to mess with that. Plus, I think one of them
Sho is obviously still alive. Because he's too terrible of a person to die.
Well, so one of the things I liked is that she asked her, she's like, Grandma, you knew that you knew ahead of time, didn't you? You knew that you had to send me back and what would have transpired. So, of course I did. Those are some of my most cherished memories of my life.
Yeah, so this was not the first time that Kohaku sent her back. There has to be a first time, but
yeah,
they just explained that this was not the first time that Kohaku had sent her back. There's been a time loop going on the whole time.
Yep. So it was a self-fulfilling prophecy sort of thing going on. So she goes back with Kohaku, Grandma Kohaku, and she's like, I learned the Japanese word for time capsule. It's time capsule.
Very good.
Very good.
Very, very good.
Good bird.
Good bird.
So she's like, here,
no, it's nice bird.
Nice bird, that's right. So she's like, here's a time capsule. All the members of the Magical Arts Photography Club put this together for you. I think that's why they didn't show up. I think they wanted to keep her memories of them and of that time there. They didn't want to come back and being old and enfeebled and whatever else. Because
enfeebled.
But it's like, because they come back and she's like looking at all the pictures that they took, and it even shows like, he's like, we even have this for you, and it was this little book that she read as a child. I think they alluded to it in past episodes. I just can't honestly remember.
Yeah, I think the book was there in those past episodes, but
it was
we don't make the connection until this episode.
Yeah, because she's like, all this time I thought it was, the reason I loved this book and remembered it so much was because it was one that I read it a lot with Mother. But it turned out that there was an even stronger connection there. I just didn't realize it because the book is by Aoi. The book was written and illustrated by Aoi, and it just...
If you can't tell, Featherhoof is very hurt right now. He's in a lot of pain.
It was a seriously beautiful ending. Because she reads the book aloud, and she can now see how each of the characters written in the book were representations of the members of the photography club. She hears their voices now as she reads those characters, and it's so fucking beautiful. And the scene, and it shows that the reason she even had the book to begin with was because as a child, fucking Aoi gave it to her.
Yeah. He wrote the book and gave it to her.
Like, as an adult, Aoi, as an adult, found child Hitomi and gave her the book.
You know, we did forget about something.
What?
When Kohaku sent Hitomi Back to the Future, she told her something very important.
What?
Don't forget to be born.
Oh, yes! That was the weirdest statement ever.
Like, what? Are you serious?
Yes. So, it was a fantastic... Okay, so that was the episode. Actually, no, the episode ends very sad.
Very sad.
First off,
2018. Very sad.
No, there's two sad things. One, it's not as sad, really. She turns to Kohaku and she says...
It's not as sad as soul-crushing depression week.
But she turns to Kohaku and says, you know what I want to do? I want to go find my mom. I want to go find my mom, and I want to go... I want to mend things between us. I want to find her and make her happy. To which Kohaku breaks down crying, and they hold each other for a little while. But the final scene, and I'm betting you dimes and donuts it's Aoi. It shows her walking through a graveyard with a bouquet in her hands. She sets it down next to a grave, and just sits there and just smiles and prays in front of it. Because, I don't know,
Did Aoi get taken out by Truck-kun?
Probably. I don't know, it's either her mother's grave, or it's Aoi's.
How is she gonna mend things with her mother if she's dead?
Exactly, so I don't think it's gonna be her mom's grave. Because, I mean, the last we heard, her mom pulled a Hanebado on her and just took off. So,
didn't exactly pull a Hanebado.
But we're gonna call it that. But yeah, it's... Oh, fuck, it was so good. So, on the whole, I give Iraduku possibly an 8.
I would go for 8 out of 10. This is the most gorgeous show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Outside of movies, this is the most gorgeous show I've watched ever.
Absolutely.
I mean, even including shows like Attack on Titan, which is basically just animation.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as good as this fucking shit here.
Yeah. Like, this is, like, Ghibli level, like, art here. Like, have you ever watched, like, scenes in a Ghibli movie, like, Arrietty, where she, like, looks out at the kitchen for the first time. It's just beautifully drawn fucking kitchen with crazy detail. They shoved that into a TV over-the-air production. And it's gorgeous.
And TV productions are not known for having the greatest animation and the greatest level of artwork.
Well, here's the thing. They had very good animation in Iraduku. The animation was pretty average.
I feel like they must have hired a lot of people. Well, even they had to put in a lot of hours on this because there's a lot of shading and color. Oh my god, it's...
Yes.
I can't imagine them even knowing how anime is produced, like, running up to the deadline the way they do it, the crazy way they do it, unlike over here where we just produce everything and then spend like 10 billion years editing everything.
Yeah.
Wow. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. I mean, on the whole, it did have its downfalls. I was getting so sick and tired. Like, I was getting so sick and tired of Hitomi every other episode. I hate being a mage. I hate magic. It's like, she would have these revelations where she would be happy that she had magic because she could make people happy. But then the very next episode would be, I hate magic. It's like, stop it! Just stop it! Enough of it! Enough of that! But that show was just, it's like, you are an awful person. You are truly an awful person. He even knows that Hitomi and Aoi have a thing. Because he even asks Aoi if it was okay beforehand.
I have a good working theory on Sho's behavior now.
Okay.
After having watched Gundam Double Zeta.
Ah, please, enlighten us.
He comes from the judo school of love.
Ah, I see. So he's that stupid, isn't he?
He's just... That's just thinking with your head.
Kurumi, I liked her. I kind of... They started to give her more background, but then stopped halfway through.
My opinion of her improved over time, especially when I had to contrast her with Sho.
It's just... The group dynamic they all had, though, was just charming. I loved the way they all interacted off of one another. Sho by himself is an awful human being, but I did like him as part of the group dynamic. So, it was a really, really good anime. It was great. It was honestly great. 8 for great.
8 for great.
That's all I can really say about it. It's, like I said, my problems with it just mainly come with Hitomi's, cases of sad sackedness that would just come out of nowhere. But I was glad I was along for the journey. Mm-hmm. So that was our list. We're going to talk about a couple other things. We're just going to rank the series all together, and then we're going to get out of your guys' hair.
Out of his hair?
What hair? So, doing a couple of rankings this season. Panda, if you had to rank this season, the 5 anime we watched, from worst to best, what would you say?
I definitely put Double Decker at the bottom, just for all the flaws that we had to expose.
Yeah.
With how it was mishandled,
yeah,
misappropriated, whatever. What could have been? Then I think in my 4th slot, I'd probably put Iriduku.
Okay.
Despite the high levels of art, and just amazing art.
Yeah.
And it just... There were so many other shows this season. Like, this is obviously... Iriduku has to do with Hitomi's depression.
Yes.
And I felt like Gridman dealt with depression better.
Okay.
And that's why I would put it down that low, because...
And I from what I've heard, even though part of it was about her depression, but even the love story, I've heard that other series this season,
Bloom Into You was a better love story.
Yeah. So, okay. What after that?
Number 3, Goblin Slayer.
Okay.
Middle ground, because it's a great show. Even though there's a normie filter at the beginning, and there's a lot of bitching and moaning about that.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I enjoyed it because, like I said, we used to do the D&D thing. We'd get together every week and have fun playing a tabletop game.
Yep.
And then at number 2, I'd put Zombieland Saga. I do like idol anime, like I've watched Love Live, and I enjoyed that. This was just a wild ride. There were a few missteps, and the use of CG. Do you remember when they ran out of money for the CG?
Yeah.
I'm just using that joke.
I know,
because CG is actually a cost-cutting measure. And I rendered it all in 2D, and it actually improved the show.
It did.
And then number 1, no brainers, is Banana Fish.
We watched all of Banana Fish today!
Shit, I almost forgot it. I had to think of Review Starlight. I was like, who the fuck was that chicken there?
Banana-chan?
Yeah.
I love Banana-chan.
Yeah, Banana Fish!
Who would have thought that she'd be the fucking antagonist? What the fuck was that? But anyway. Yeah, I'm not going to give my ranking because my ranking is exactly the same as his, honestly. I have no deviating thoughts. If it wasn't for the fact that Zombieland Saga was so much fun to watch, I'd almost put Goblin Slayer above it, simply because Zombieland Saga's shitty use of CG. But Zombieland Saga was still so much fun. I loved Tatsumi. I loved the musical segments. So it eked it out just a bit.
Yeah. It's a really good show, and it may be getting a second season because
Crossing our fingers.
it's hugely popular. It's really big over in Japan.
So, how about your top favorite opening and ending themes this season?
Oh, hey, it's time to cheat.
Yeah, we talked about this pre-show. I gave him liberty. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think the best opening, without a doubt, was Zombieland Sagas.
Okay.
Now, Zombieland Saga is total style.
Mhm.
Lots of references.
Yeah.
And then, like, you don't even understand what it's talking about, because a lot of openings kind of talk about what's going on in the story. You don't understand until the end of the show.
Right.
Because, all of them are fighting this big crab monster, which is supposed to represent Sakura's depression. And they finally beat it, and she gets out. And I'm going to include two others. We didn't watch these shows.
Okay.
One of them is Golden Kamuy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is in its second season.
Okay, so it's second season opening?
Yeah, second season opening.
Okay.
The first season opening is by Man with a Mission. You know those guys.
Yes, I do.
With their wolf heads.
Yes, I love those dudes. Dude, ever since that we watched Inuyashiki, I've loved those dudes, man. These guys rock. They're fucking awesome.
And the third one I couldn't remember because I'm running on 3 hours of sleep. So I'll just skip to the endings. Bloom Into You. I've recommended this show. It's one of the best love stories.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even really like love stories, to be honest. But yeah, it's got a great ending. And I also liked Banana Fishes, despite... I'm talking about the ending here, not the opening, because the opening for the second season was just...
hot garbage?
Bleh. And Double Deckers as well.
See,
it's just a catchy little tune.
It is. So for me, best opening definitely goes to, I would probably say, I'm trying to remember the 5 we watched this week. It's definitely not Banana Fishes. Design Man and Ridiculous. What am I missing? Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer was my personal favorite this season. I don't know what it is about that. It's just the way it starts off is super chill and it's just hanging out, and then it just picks up really hard, and it's just this great little. I don't know. There's something about I think it's called Remembrance or something like that.
Rightfully.
Thank you. I knew it was an R word. I really liked that. Zombie Saga was another fantastic opening. I did love that one. Simply because it's like, I loved it visually. Like, the song is catchy, but I loved it visually because it was pure chaos.
It's a great opening.
Yep.
Like, it's got everything.
Well, when we found out, this was funny is that we realized, at least I realized, the first trailer we saw that we were like, I don't know, that made us weary of watching it, was the opening. The first trailer we saw was the opening. And it was like, it showed a little bit of her getting hit by the truck, and then it went into the opening. So it's, but it still had a great catchy tune. Like you said, the symbolism held within. It was great. As far as the ending goes, Double Decker's ending was possibly my absolute favorite. Because it sounds like word soup. It literally sounds like English word soup.
It's like they've... Like, unlike Man with a Mission, which actually knows English.
Yeah.
They're just throwing random shit in there.
Yeah, I mean, every
Japanese, and they're switching between Japanese and English.
Every week we sat there and we're sitting there just listening to it going, it's like, wait, did he say, what the fuck? Did we just add words to what it sounded like he was saying?
Was it like, men don't work, or...
It's something like that. It's something about a donkey. I heard donkey in there somewhere for some reason. I don't know why. It's just weird word soup, but it's so catchy and fun to listen to.
Yeah, I absolutely love that, even though it let me down.
Yeah. So, that was the season of Fall 2018. It's over. It is over, as is 2018 itself.
And spoiler alert, there's not going to be any anime next week.
Yes.
We're going to look over winter 2019.
Yep.
Since apparently winter is the first season of the year.
So weird.
We're going to figure out some shows that we like.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to paste them.
Yes.
See what your opinions are. obviously none of them are going to air by the time this video is up because there's no anime next week.
Yes.
Spoiler alert, these videos come out a week behind.
Yes. Well, it gives because they're so spoiler heavy, that's why we put them a week behind, so if anyone's still catching up, they have time.
Yeah, so we're going to look through it, bounce off some opinions, and...
We're going to put it out to patrons first. Patrons, you get your first crack at helping us figure out the anime to watch. We'll throw it out afterwards to the rest of y'all. So get ready, leave it in the comments. What anime... for those who've already looked ahead, see what anime is coming out, give us some suggestions. We'll have our official poll up soon. But until then...
Hopefully there's no Yoshi anime.
Yes, I hope there's no Yoshi anime. Yoshi is awful. Yoshi's the worst character in the Mario series. So, fuck you for even bringing him up. It up, her up, whatever up.
I can see it in the future right now. There's gonna be a Yoshi anime, and they're all gonna be like, "You guys gotta watch this."
Oh no! And with that, we're gonna go ahead and take off. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you enjoyed this series, please let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, share it, or you can click on the annotations for other videos we've done. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you all next time.